Hello. Today, I want to have a conversation, really a serious conversation with you about how to be successful on your GLP-1 journey. Recording this video, I had newbies in mind, people new taking the GLP-1 medication, but actually anybody anywhere in their GLP-1 journey can benefit from the information I will share with you today. I'm going to tell you some things that the doctor should have told you, but they didn't. I am 54 years old, just turned 54 actually, and I've been taking the GLP-1 medication, Mounjaro, for almost 2.5 years, and I've lost 88 pounds. So I can share with you some tips that help me be successful on my GLP-1 journey. So let's get started. I have some close friends that are taking the GLP-1. And honestly, when I told them I was taking the GLP-1, they didn't really seem interested. It was just kind of like, oh, okay. And then when they saw results, and they could have been interested and I just didn't know it, but when they started to see a change in my body, a change in my mindset, when they started to see me dropping the pounds, they became more curious. I really believe that they thought that I was just taking this injection, it was causing me to lose weight, and that I really didn't give much effort to it. I think that's the misconception that most people have about people taking a GLP-1. You just take it, it makes you lose all this weight, you go about your life. And really, that's just not how it works. Now, for some people, that may be your story, but that is not my story. So I am here, someone who's 54 years old, just turned 54, went through menopause while taking this GLP-1 journey. So I am someone who doesn't have that story about dropping so fast. I want to share with you some things that your doctor should have shared with you. Now, why didn't your doctor tell you these things? Maybe they don't know, but whatever we say in this video, I want you to go take the information to the doctor. These friends are realizing that it's more than just taking the shot. So let me say that, because I want to dig right into how to help you become successful on your GLP-1. So I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you be successful on your journey. And I really want to give you a bonus. So remind me, I have a bonus at the end. So I don't want to forget. Let's start with number 1. I think this is the most important thing you should do. And that is take your shot or your injection consistently. Every week, take that injection. Now, you might be saying, well, that's sort of easy. That's obvious. Well, it really is not that obvious. I've heard so many people, even some of my own friends, talk about they're not taking their injection because they're going on a vacation or they're going to a special event. And I'm going to say to you, take it anyway. Take it anyway. Now, the reason why people would be saying they're not going to take it is because they want to eat whatever they want to eat, right? They want to eat freely without having the consequences of a side effect, or they want to drink whatever they want to drink. And usually that's alcohol. I'm going to say to you, don't do it. Still take that injection. What you can do is have a plan in place for when you go on a vacation or have a special event. Instead of having a whole big dinner full of rich foods, maybe you can just have one thing and see how that makes you feel. Instead of having 3 glasses of alcohol, maybe you could just have one. Maybe you could find a drink that you could sip on for the whole night and not get sick. We know the number one reason people quit taking a GLP-1 is because of the side effects. But what they don't tell you is sometimes people are causing these side effects by what they're eating and drinking. So just take your injection every week or whenever you're supposed to. Don't skip. So that brings us to tip number 2. And tip number 2, I'm telling you, I know a lot of people are doing this, and that is eating fried foods. One of the quickest ways to get an upset stomach taking this GLP-1 is to eat fried foods, especially the day before or the day after your injection. You have to give up the fried foods. And I know it's a struggle because I was a fried food girly and still am to a degree. But what I learned is you have to sacrifice that for better health. Now, am I saying you'll never, ever eat another piece of fried food? No, but I'm saying if you're going to indulge in fried foods, taking this GLP-1, it definitely has to be in moderation or not at all, because it's just going to make you sick. And I hear it time and time again. Whenever people tell me they're not feeling well, I will ask 2 questions. What are you eating and what are you drinking? Depending on what they say, my third question is, what dose are you on? And all of that is so important because, again, the number one reason people stop taking these GLP-1 medications is because of the side effects. So that brings us to tip number 3. And tip number 3 is to eat your fiber. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't hear a lot of people talking about that, but this is so important to eat the fiber. The fiber is what's going to get you going to the restroom, which is going to help prevent constipation. The goal is to get 25 to 35 grams of fiber. I want you to get your fiber from whole foods. A lot of times we hear about all the supplements we can take to help get you going to the restroom because the GLP-1s are known to cause constipation. And for some people, they're just going to have constipation. That's probably the number one side effect I hear that most people have. Not everybody. I know a lot of people that don't have constipation. But I'm telling you, eat your whole foods. That's the best thing you can do to get in your fiber. Now, if you're getting in 25 to 30 grams of fiber and you're still not going to the restroom, then that's a conversation you should have with your doctor, and maybe supplements will help in some way. So I want you newbies to go back and focus on those whole foods first to get the fiber in. So that brings me to tip number 4. And I'm going to tell you, tip number 4 probably could have been tip number 1. And that is drink your water. Drink your water. Now, I'm telling you, I am 54 and people always tell me I look 20 years younger. Now, if you don't think so, you don't have to tell me in this video. Just let me keep living my best life. I'm telling you, one of the things that I have done is I stay hydrated. I drink my water. My hydration is mostly water. I am not really adding syrups and artificial sweeteners and all that to my water. I'm drinking pure water. So I want you to consider drinking water. My goal is to get at least 64 ounces up to 80. I know some people who go over that, but that is what I'm comfortable doing. And it's just easy for me. How do I get that in? I carry my water bottle around. Now, I'm newly retired, but before I retired, I would say to myself, I'm going to drink at least 3 bottles of water before I leave work. And then when I get home, I'm going to drink 3 bottles of water. And I try to do all my drinking before 7:30 at night. And that's tough. And that's only tough if I stay up past 10 o'clock. Then I start to get thirsty. That water is so important. It's going to release those toxins from your body. It's going to help your skin. And it's just going to get everything flowing in the right direction. So drink your water. And that brings me to tip number 5. You know what? I wish these doctors would at least tell people this when they leave out of the doctor's office. You have to lead with protein first on the GLP-1 because it's going to be tough to eat, right? Your appetite's suppressed. The food noise is probably gone. You don't have those constant thoughts about food, but you do need to eat. We want to focus in on protein because protein is going to help build that muscle. And actually, did you know that protein takes longer to digest in your body, for your body to break it down? Your body has to work a little harder to break it down. So that's also a bonus for you. So that protein is great for our muscles, for our hair. And you actually have to do some strength training, lift some weights, use some resistance bands to work the muscle, right? Now, I'm going to tell you, my dietitian recommended that I get 80 grams of protein. She said you don't need anything more. My doctor also recommended I get 80 grams of protein. But when I went to DexaFit and got a DEXA scan, they told me that I needed to be eating between 90 and 120 grams of protein because I was strength training 2 to 3 days a week. So that's what I'm aiming for, that 90 to 120. And I gave myself a range because I don't want to beat myself up if I don't actually get to the 120. I would check with your doctor, make sure you are getting enough. Protein is king on this GLP-1 journey. So that is it. Follow those tips and let me know. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's so hard. It can be overwhelming to do all these things at one time. So I'm going to say to you, especially if you're a newbie or you're someone that's stuck on your journey, let's take one thing and start with that. So let's start with number 1. Why don't we? So for 30 days, take your injection no matter what. If you have a birthday party to go to, if you go on a vacation, whatever you do, still take that injection. Start there. Let's start with that. Let's challenge ourselves to start with that and see how your body feels. Learn how to maneuver. What can you eat? What can you not eat so that your body feels healthy? And just remember, people want to look good once they lose weight, but you also want to be healthy. So I always like to say, how do you feel? Let how you feel lead everything else. So wait, hold up. You forgot to remind me about the bonus. The bonus is to move your body. And that could be whatever you can do at this time. Now, I had struggled with moving my body when I first started my journey because I was over 300 pounds. Let me put that picture up again and remind you, I was over 300 pounds. And it was just difficult for me to move. My knees were not doing well. I just felt tired all the time. I was exhausted. Now I know menopause also played into that. But I'm telling you, that's one of the things I wish I had done is started doing a little something sooner. So whatever you can handle, whatever movement you can handle, I would do that. If it's starting off in the chair, we'll take that. If it's walking for a short period of time, 5 minutes, building your way up to 10 minutes, we'll take that. Now, that's a bonus. So I didn't say start there. We're going to tackle one thing at a time, and then we're going to stack these habits up. One more thing before I end, I have to encourage you and tell you to be consistent. So whatever habit you decide to work on, let's say you're not starting with taking that injection consistently because you're already doing that. Whatever you're starting with, you have to be consistent with it. Being consistent does not mean being perfect. Being consistent means doing something more than you're not. So we can do this. We've got this. I told you guys I have lost 88 pounds, but I still have 60 to 70 pounds to go to reach my goal. So I am also joining in on getting these habits down. Just like I'm encouraging you, I want you to stick around so you can help to encourage me. So I hope this was helpful for you to be successful on your GLP-1 journey. I want you to hype this video so that it's sent out to all the GLP-1 users. I want you to subscribe to my channel. If you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I go live or upload a video. Now, I want to invite you to my live streams. I am live on Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We talk about all things related to GLP-1. And most importantly, we just like hanging out, socializing with each other, and having a good old time. So come and join me live. Before you go, I want you to go down to the description of this video. I have some links in there with some things that can help you on your GLP-1 journey. So I will see you in the next video. But most importantly, I want you to take great care of yourself. And remember, slow and steady, normal and steady wins the race. Just don't quit.